All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Zoom over welcoming new ambassadors. I have a checklist in front of me that I'm going to be referring to, talking about the different steps that you need to take when you're welcoming a new ambassador. I think it's perfect timing right now with a brand new year. We've got a lot of people jumping on board, wanting to get healthy. It's just kind of that time of year where we kind of reevaluate what we're doing with our lives, with our health, with our finances. And so I think that this comes at a really good time. Now, if you are a seasoned ambassador and you have not been doing welcome calls, which will be the last step, it's not too late to start doing them. They're huge for your business, and I'll talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. Can raise your hand if you guys can hear me. Raise your hand if you can hear me. Okay, Jeannie, it's just you. So yeah, I've got raised hands. So you'll have to figure out something with your volume because everybody else is hearing me. Okay, so number one, first step when you are welcoming a new ambassador is I would like for you actually, before they even sign on, to help them select their welcome pack. Okay, so this, in the best case scenario, you're talking with them over the phone and helping them sign up get their welcome pack, telling them what's going to be the best for whatever they're looking for, and also helping them choose a backup order. Talk about both of these. Okay, the welcome pack. Yes, we do have the trim up deal going on right now. Okay, I would really not like to see people skipping welcome packs. Instead, what I'd like to see, if they're wanting to work the business, then they need to sign up with a welcome pack right now, and they have until March 15th to get a qualifying order for the trim up contest. So I would have them sign up next month for that, okay? Just because we want to start our ambassadors off on the right foot, and having that success kit that comes with our welcome packs is huge. Oh, Dana can't hear me either. Okay, you guys swear you can hear me? I guess you're raising your hands. I'll keep going. I'm not sure what's going on with those two. I'll try to talk a little bit louder. I don't know if my volume needs to go up for you to be able to hear me. I don't know if that does anything. The welcome pack is the best deal. You guys really need to have people getting this right off the bat, okay? If they're not wanting to do this, then they need to probably be customers first. If they're really wanting to jump into the trim up, then they need to be customers first rather than skipping a welcome pack. You know, I really don't like to see people signing up as ambassadors, taking the product for a month or two and quitting anyway. Those people should have been customers all along. That does nobody any good, okay? So if they're wanting to work the business, yes, get them going. Get them a welcome pack. Get them their success kit, because that stuff's very important. Then have them sign up in the following months for the contest. As far as the backup order goes, no, they're not required to earn commission. Nope, they're not. They used to be. However, this is an important piece in helping people remain consistent in taking their products. Again, if we don't have backup orders in place, or an auto qualification as it's sometimes called, and somebody forgets to place their order, you can kind of slip into that, well, I guess I'm doing okay. I'll just survive on coffee for right now and then maybe pick it back up later. And it's one of those things where somebody doesn't give it their full opportunity to see what can happen health-wise for their products. So it's just really about staying committed and never running out of your products. And it's just a convenience thing. So please walk them through that. My best words of advice when walking them through that is, when you get to that step, okay, let's select the triplex because that's what you went with for your welcome pack. This way it will come to you on the 15th of every month. It's going to be whenever they sign up. And you'll never run out of product. And you'll be able to remain consistent. If for some reason something changes and you need to cancel or change your order, you can easily do that by logging into your account. Boom, that's all you've got to say. Don't even leave it open as an option, because if people are signing up as ambassadors, I hope that they're going to be committed to their health. Okay, the next step, add them to the team pages. On Diamond Domain, my team page, you need to wait until Wednesdays to welcome them, and make sure that you add them in the comment section with a nice graphic welcoming them to the team. And I would like to see everybody even welcoming wholesalers on that thread. It's just kind of nice to get that welcome, to have all these people responding, which leads me to make sure that you're on there commenting and welcoming people to our team. We have an awesome team full of really encouraging, supportive people. And we want people to feel that warmth right off the bat. So make sure that you're a part of that and you're contributing, because as you add new ambassadors, I know that you want other people to do that for you. Okay. So add people to the team. I started off as a wholesale ambassador. A lot of you guys already know this. And I'll mention this throughout this Zoom. But when I had no warning that there was going to be some sort of a picture of me on this team. Okay, I'm going to skip that step. Okay, make sure that you're welcoming those people, even your wholesalers. Okay, here's a step that I think a lot of people are forgetting or maybe have never even thought about doing. Send a welcome email. This needs to happen ASAP. The welcome email can be really brief. It doesn't have to have a lot in it, but there are some things that I think are really key to have. And people like to have this kind of information in their email so they can always go back and find it whenever they need it. So here are the things that I would like to see in your welcome emails to your new ambassadors. Number one, their new website. Give them their new website. And you can find that very easily. I'm going to do it right now so that I make sure I tell you guys exactly right, which I'm probably not logged in. But when you click on their name and their little box pops up when you're in your back office, oh, I am logged in, it'll actually say what their website is. So, sorry, I'm having somebody's pop up here. So you can click on their name and then it says your business site, and it's got their little link there. So you can find it when you click their name from the detailed genealogy. Okay, so give them their URL, give them their website, make sure that they have it in a place they can go back to in their email. Give them the phone number to customer service. It's never a good thing when we have to call customer service, but it's always a good thing to have that phone number handy. So make sure that they have that. You need to also make sure that you're sending them product instructions so they know how to take their products. Specifically the triplex, we don't want anybody jumping right into all three products right off the bat, taking full doses, or they're going to feel kind of miserable. If you're unsure of how to start somebody off on the triplex, message your sponsor and they can give you a good diagram or list or something to go off of to send to people with their instructions. I'd also like for you to send the success plan. If you haven't seen this before, it is packed with info. It's jam-packed. On Diamond Domain team page, you can find it in the Files tab, and it has so much information in it. I highly suggest everyone prints it out, keeps it in a binder, and keeps it very handy to refer to whenever you have questions. So the success plan, attach that. And then also there is a welcome call that I like people to listen to. It has a phone number, a code that you punch in, and somebody can listen. I like to tell people to listen to these when they're folding laundry or, doing some other kind of chore, maybe in the car, driving to work, wherever it might be. And this welcome call link, I can add, I'm going to add this call to our team page, so I can add the phone number for that and all the instructions in the comments when I post this on the team page, so you can look for it there. The welcome call just goes over some basic stuff. It talks about gut health. It talks about the business side. It's real brief, but it's really informative. Okay, here's the next step. Number 4, start a 3-way message thread with your sponsor and your new ambassador. This 3-way message thread, there's not really a magic thing that needs to be said. Your 3-way message thread is just basically going to say, hey, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining the team, or I'm so excited you joined the team. I wanted to introduce you to my sponsor, Emily. She's a wealth of knowledge, and I would love to be able to connect the two of you guys, and maybe we can all kind of, 15, 20-minute chat just to answer any questions that you might have. So at this point, then your sponsor would respond, say, yes, when works for you? Can you do daytime or evening? Something along those lines. And this is where you're setting up a welcome call, okay? And this is where I think a lot of people this is a step that a lot of people are choosing not to do, because I've talked a lot about welcome calls in the past, and maybe your sponsors just haven't done it, so you don't even know what that looks like. This is something that is so duplicatable. It is so easy to do. It sounds difficult, but it really is not difficult at all. That step where you are starting that 3-way message thread is vital, okay? this is what I do, and this is what you can think about doing as your team starts to grow. I have recorded a welcome video. This welcome video, which is different from the welcome call I was talking about earlier. This is a welcome video. It's from me, okay? But I would like to see other people making their own. The welcome video goes over some basic stuff, about the compensation plan. It talks about, how to work the business, just real briefly. But it's nice because what I was finding before I had this welcome video is that I was repeating myself over and over and over again on my calls, saying the same information and just talking, when I could have saved that time and I could have put it into a video instead. So the new ambassador can listen to this whenever they have time, get all the information that I was sharing with everybody, and then our call could be strictly focused on them and their goals and not talking about all the other stuff that can be covered, outside of the call. That way your call doesn't run like an hour and a half, because that's no good. Nobody has time for that. So I highly suggest making a welcome video. This is also something that I can include in the comments when I post this on the team page. So I'm going to make notes for myself so I don't forget what to post on the comment section. So welcome video, super important. Guys, start these 3-way message threads with your wholesalers as well. They may tell you they have no interest in the business. Guess what? I said the same thing. I didn't have interest in the business and I didn't want to do a welcome call, but it was kind of presented to me as, okay, you joined the team. I'm going to get you on a welcome call. It wasn't like, do you want one? No, it was just kind of like, okay, you signed up, so now we're going to do a welcome call. Okay, I guess I'll do a welcome call. Well, you know what happened after I got off the welcome call? I posted that night and started my business. So welcome calls are not a waste of time. Welcome calls can change absolutely everything. Okay, so let's start talking about the welcome call, because that's really the meat of this Zoom, and this is the meat of what I wanted to talk to you guys about. This is just something I want to make sure that on our team is not an option. It's just what we do, and it's expected. But I don't want you to be afraid. I feel like a lot of people aren't doing them because they're fearful. They don't know what to say on a welcome call, or they're fearful that their new ambassador is going to turn them down and not want to do a welcome call. Don't worry about those things. First of all, the most successful kind of welcome call is not businessy at all, okay? In fact, most of my welcome calls include my kids screaming in the background, me yelling at my kids, maybe me in the car. I mean, just chaos, like life, okay? And it's not, it doesn't have to be businessy. It doesn't have to be this super professional thing where you have a dialogue that you, or a script that you go off of and you read to this person. No, I want you to think of it more as chatting with your friends, okay? So this new person, you don't know them, but you're gonna get to know them, and that's what this call is going to be. You're just getting to know who they are, where they're coming from, and there are some key things that I'd like for you to get from them. Now, with this, I've got my, speaking of super professional, I've got my almost 3-year-old just screaming bloody murder right now. I've got 2 out of the 3 kids decided they didn't want to go to bed tonight. That's just kind of how it goes if mom has a Zoom. Okay, so just kind of set the mood that this is just chatting with friends, okay? And a way that you can do that when you start your call is start it off with a story, a silly story about your day, or a silly story about what's happening at your house, or how you've had a chaotic morning. Just start it off being personable, being somebody that somebody can relate to, okay? And I really want you to focus on asking questions and then shutting up. Ask your question and let the person talk. You need to do, if you're the one running the call, you need to do as much listening as possible, which is making me think I need to back up because I didn't talk about what this call looks like. I didn't talk about the very basics of it. Okay, so you have a new ambassador. You have your sponsor, and then there's you. You will call your new ambassador. Just catch up with them, 3 minutes before the call. Hey, how's it going? I'm really excited for you to talk to my sponsor. Hold on a second, I'm going to add her to the call. There's a button on your phone, add call. Call your sponsor, then you can merge the calls together, okay? And then your sponsor is actually the one who runs it, okay? It's not you. What you do, if you're the one who sponsored a new ambassador, is it is a good chance for you to be trained on how to run your own welcome calls when it comes time. Okay, so you listen into the kinds of things that your sponsor says. If you're hearing things that your sponsor's saying that you're not really a fan of, don't include them in your welcome calls. If you hear your sponsor make a really good point, jot it down. And your first few times that you're listening in, take notes so that you are feeling comfortable enough to run your own call, okay? Okay, so again, back to what you need to be doing. You're asking questions and you're shutting up. Don't try to help fill in the answers or give them answer options. Just give the question and zip it. Let them talk, okay? One of the best questions that I feel like can help you determine the direction that your call needs to go is asking this. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not at all interested and 10 being I'm ready to be a diamond, where do you think you'd put yourself in terms of working the Plexus business? That's their chance to tell you exactly their interest level in the business, okay? You don't have to ask it. You don't have to sound like salesy or tacky or anything like that. You're asking them, tell me where you are on the scale. If they tell you 1, the rest of your call is not going to be about the business side. If they are at a 1, then you talk about the products. You make sure that everything's going well for them, that they've received their shipment, that they understand how to take the products. You can ask them if they want any more information on the business side, and they can tell you yes or no. And those are probably going to be the shortest, but they're not a waste of time, okay? And I'll talk about that here in a minute. If they're anything above 1, 2, 3 range, you can talk about the business side. You're just going to kind of gauge it depending on where they are. So if they're in the middle, you might want to find out what their hang up is, or is it, a lot of times you'll hear from people, I'm just overwhelmed, I've got a lot going on, I'm busy at work, blah, blah, blah. So maybe your focus then could be talking to them about how they can fit it into their schedule, some ways that you've found that are helpful for people to work the business when they're super busy. Or maybe their hang up is, I don't really know if the products work, so I want to make sure that they work for me. So I can't really say that I want to work the business until I know. There are some things that you can say with that. One of my favorite things to let them know is, first of all, I ask, well, do you trust the person who sponsored you? Do you trust what they're saying to you about Plexus? If so, you have a story to use. We never want anybody to lie on social media about the effects that they're feeling from Plexus. Okay, we always want the truth out there. We never want anybody to embellish anything. But until you have your own story, you can use other people's stories. Because yes, there's a chance it won't work for you because it doesn't work for everybody. But if that's the case, it's okay, because there might still be people out there that become your customers or become your ambassadors that heard a story that you shared about somebody else and Plexus works for them. Okay, so it still can. And I guarantee you're going to find something in our line that you can use and that you're going to like. A multivitamin, a protein shake, an omega supplement, whatever it might be. There's going to be something, okay? So, whatever their hang up is, you can kind of address it. So let them tell you where they fall on that scale and maybe find out what's holding them back. Some good questions to ask. What made you join Plexus? What made you contact your friend, Sarah, and join her team? What was it about it? What do you want to achieve health-wise? Or what do you want to achieve financially or personally? Ask them those kind of questions to look for what they're hoping for. And this is where they're going to kind of build their why. And this is a good time for you to kind of help them construct their why with the business. Okay, take note of the things that they're saying that they need, whether it is more time, whether they want to retire from their job, whether they want more energy to be a better mother, whatever it might be. Take those things. And then you remember those and share those with them throughout the call or, later on in the call. Also take note of some things that you think could be a strength for them in the business. If you hear them talk about being super detail oriented, say that back to them later on and be like, I really feel like people that pay attention to details and are very specific in things can do X, Y, and Z really well in this business. So share those things, because a lot of times people don't see all these positives in themselves that are there. And if you can pull that out and you can show it to them, that can do a lot for them. Even if they don't want to work the business, that can do a lot for them just as a person. Okay, so take note, really listen to what people are saying and share this stuff back with them. Really help them to identify their why. And you're also going to want to make sure that you're validating their decision to join and that they could be successful in this. You know, I have so many people on this team that are different from me, that have a different personality, different strengths, different weaknesses. And I really want people to know that it doesn't take a specific type of person to make it in this business. And I think that's something you need to address with your new ambassador. They don't have to be the most bold person in the world. We have shy people that do really well with this. Okay, so make sure that you're sharing with them how they could be successful or some reasons why they could, but make sure you're being honest. Don't make things up. Be super honest with them. What I mentioned earlier, that no call is going to be a waste of time. And, you know, I'm going to be honest too, some calls go better than others. Sometimes you get off of a call and you're like, what did I say? I was so tongue-tied. That was so bad. I didn't know what to say. I still do that, okay? Here is really hands down the reason why we need to do these calls. This is number one, the most important reason why we do these calls. This person has somebody that they don't know take time out of their day to talk to them about Plexus. It's that investment of time that is such a huge deal. They see that what kind of a team we are, that we are here to help other people out. And it doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't have to be somebody who is, you know, ready to fast start gold. That's the only type of person we invest our time in. No, we invest our time in anybody who wants our time. And I think that that's really important for people to feel valued. And right off the bat, to feel valued by having two people take time out of their day to talk to them, that's huge, okay? And that's why I don't think conference call, welcome calls work very well. Because it's, you know, yeah, you can get a lot of information out, sharing information, it's great, but actually getting to know a person and showing that you value them, it doesn't do that, okay? Those individual three-way calls, that really will do it. Okay, so what do you need to end with? These don't have to be super long either, guys, okay? They really don't. And that might be more appealing to this new ambassador because they're nervous getting on this call. They don't know what to expect. They don't know if you're going to be super pushy and make them do things that are super crazy. So don't think that these have to be super long. You can kind of say, I just want to chat for 20 minutes if you have time. Okay, so what do you end with? End with some specific goals. Your most basic specific goals to end with are achieving 500 PV and signing 3 ambassadors, thus promoting to a silver ambassador. You may need to talk them through what that looks like, approximately how many customers it might take to reach that 500 PV, why 500 PV is significant, why 3 ambassadors is significant, you know, the bonus that comes with that, the type of income that they'll get. And then to go along with that, their next steps. But before I get to that, I want to rewind a little bit. You might have somebody that when you give them the scale, they say they're at a 10, and they say that they've already contacted people and they are ready to go and they're ready to sign people. You may not want to limit them to a goal of 3 new ambassadors. That might be limiting. Their goal might be to fast start gold and get 20 people on their team in 30 days. So make sure you pay close attention. Your typical goal is going to be that 500 PV and 3 new ambassadors, but listen to what they're saying. They may need more than that, okay? And this doesn't have to be a hard and fast, you know, you need to achieve this by this time. Tell them they can give themselves their own deadline on these goals. And you can kind of encourage them and say, we see the people that have a lot of success pretty quickly can do this in 30 days. If it takes you longer than that, that's totally fine. And that doesn't mean you're not going to be successful. But if you can achieve it in 30 days, that's a really big deal. And we can really get the ball rolling for your team to grow. So what are the next steps? Posting on social media. Remember that feeling before you made the leap into to posting on Facebook about Plexus? How scary that was, how intimidated you were. You didn't know what to say. You didn't know what people were going to think. Put yourself in their shoes. But also encourage them, the sooner they do this, the better. And we can go back to that whole thing where people want to have their own testimony. I remember saying those exact words on my welcome call. But what changed was my sponsor saying something along the lines of, the people who are moving the fastest through this company are posting before they have a story, and they're kind of just inviting people on their journey. And I really liked that. That made sense, and it was really authentic. So my first post was just putting it out there. Hey, I'm starting Plexus. Here's what I'm hoping to see. Of course, I put a Jacqueline spin on it and made it kind of goofy. But I put it out there and just kind of invited people on my journey. This is something you can encourage people to do. Don't tell them they have to. Of course they have a choice. We are not here. This welcome call is not to pressure anybody or push them. It's just to kind of lay it out there and say, well, here's what you can do to be successful. And the sooner you post, the sooner you're going to have success, because really the best thing you can do right off the bat is sprinkle the seeds, okay? And as you share more, you start to water those seeds. And as you're able to share your story, that is when things start to grow. And that's when your business will grow and you'll see the customers and all that. So really planting those seeds early is really going to be helpful. Training videos or training calls, get them access to those. Tell them, you know, what I told you. I love to listen to that stuff when I'm doing mundane tasks or driving in the car. That's a great time to listen to that stuff. Talk to them about sharing with their friends and family. And this might be really important if you've got somebody who's like, you know, I'm just not ready to post on Facebook. That's okay. They can tell people in person. Tell their close friends and family what they're doing. And a really great way to get your business going is to reach out to your close friends and family and ask them to be your accountability partner and join you on this journey. And that's something that they can do. It's an easy way to reach out to people without being salesy at all. Who wants to do some sort of a health journey on their own? Having the support of your loved ones, that's amazing to do it with other people. So you can share that as an option as well. And another thing that I like to tell people to do, and that I totally still do, whether you're at the gym or at work or wherever it might be, mixing your pink drink in front of people, because then you're kind of making them ask you about it. And that's something you can kind of throw out there for people to do. And then what to do when people like or comment on their posts. They're going to get a lot of support from our team, because that's just what we do. We're cool people like that. We support one another. We let our team know when a new ambassador has made their first post. But they're going to get some likes and they're going to get some comments from people that are not affiliated with Plexus. And we don't just let those sit there. So let them know, get them prepared for that. You know, if you have somebody like your post, you message them. And it can be such an easy message, something along the lines of, hey, Ashley, I saw that you liked my Plexus post today. I just wanted to tell you thank you. I was really nervous, you know, jumping in and starting this business. And, you know, whether your like was just to show support of me or whether your like was because you want more information, I just want to thank you. Let me know if there's, you know, anything I can share with you about Plexus. That's it. Okay. So that totally gives a person an out, and it doesn't have to be salesy, but it's just thanking them for the support, because let's be honest, that support is huge for us. Even if somebody doesn't become a customer ambassador, just to have somebody show us support is nice. And then the other thing too to share with them is the most successful ambassadors tend to be really self-sufficient. If they have questions, they're really good at finding the answers, whether that be looking through the team page or going to the Plexus website or researching on their own. Now, that doesn't mean that everything can be found without asking. You guys all know, as a new ambassador, you have so many questions. So let them know that you're there for them to help them out, but they should really try to find answers as best they can on their own and use all of the resources that we have. You can share, on the team page how we have the magnifying glass. People can use that as a search tool to look for certain topics. If they want to know if Plexus is safe while nursing, they can type in breastfeeding on the search bar, see if anything pops up. If it doesn't, it's a perfect time to ask a question about it on the team page. So share that with them. Welcome calls are so important. I really don't want to see anybody skipping them. They can be tailored to no matter where your ambassador is at, whether they want to be just a wholesale buyer, whether they maybe would dabble in the business or maybe get a few customers to help get their products paid for, or whether they are ready to hit the ground running and make this business, what it could be. The welcome call is so important. And I think that you'll find a lot more success in your own business if you start running these, and you're going to get a lot more excitement too. I feel like a lot of times, the excitement can come and go. It like ebbs and flows. It kind of goes in waves. When you get off of a welcome call, like I'm always jazzed. I'm always energized. And I'm always like, wow, this person doesn't even know what they're stepping into, and they've got so much potential and excitement ahead of them. And it just kind of revs me back up and gets me even more pumped about what I'm doing. So, that is really all that I had on the welcome calls. I just really want to see people doing these, incorporating them into their routine with new ambassadors, really getting people welcomed right off the bat and getting them all the information that we can. I'm going to stop recording, but I do have time for some questions. So just unmute yourself if you have a question, and I'd love to answer it.